Taking a look at our COVID numbers, positivity rates keep dropping, showing we could be towards the end of this Omicron wave. Dr. Anthony Fauci recently said that the United States is leaving the full-blown pandemic phase, heading towards something we live with but doesn't necessarily impact our day-to-day lives. Nine Health medical expert Dr. Payal Kohli joining us now to talk about the end of this latest wave. So it feels like we've come down from these high rates before, like we have been here, but somehow, we mess it up. So how do we know that this is really going to be it?
Well, so the good news and the different thing about this one is look at the height of this peak, right? We looked at all those peaks. So this peak affected a lot of people. It got a lot of people very sick. In other words, it got them immunity. So now we're in this honeymoon period where people are either vaccinated and boosted or they recently recovered from Omicron. So at least for the next few months, a lot of us are protected. And that's what gives us the courage to say that perhaps this is the last variant.
Yeah, courage can be a dangerous thing, though. So what about our mindset? What do we have to change as far as our thinking now, as hopefully we're on this downward ride out of the pandemic?
I think the biggest mistake we can make, Tom and Alex, is that we get, too relaxed, that we say it's done, it's over, fatigue, let's go. Because that's what we did before, and that got the new variant to come out. So I think what we need to start thinking about now is individual responsibility, because we're seeing a lot of mask mandates being lifted. We're seeing a lot of governments changing the policies, and we're seeing a lot of heterogeneity based on what's happening in local areas. So we have to assess our personal risk and take individual responsibility and start to make smart decisions for ourselves and our families.
And you talk about lifting those mask mandates. Just last night, Boulder County, final, county in here to say, okay, we're lifting them not only for everyone, but inside of schools, which I know is scary for a lot of parents. Do you have any advice for parents as now they don't have to send their kids to class with masks on?
If I was a parent, I would still have my child wear a mask. And the reason for that is kids under 5 are not eligible yet for the vaccine. And we know that 76% of kids 5 to 11 are not vaccinated, as of data just from this morning. So that tells us most kids in school are not protected.
Right.
And there's two ways we're going to keep our kids in schools: masks and vaccines. So if we lift the mask mandate and they're not vaccinated, we really don't have much else.
So we have the kids under 5, the FDA just pulling back on making a decision about the vaccine, saying they don't have enough data. What is the data they need, and how soon might they actually get the data to make that call?
So very tricky. It seems like we may have gotten the dose wrong in this age group.
Really?
Yeah, so between 6 months to 2 years, we had a really good response to the 3 microgram dose, which is, a tenth of the adult dose. But between the 2 to 4 year kids, that didn't seem to be the right dose because 2 doses did not generate enough of an immune response. So now the FDA has to really wrestle with the question of, should we give a 3rd dose? Is it better to activate the immune system at a low level 3 times, or should we start all over with a different dose that might be a higher dose?
So this might be a while. That's a lot to figure out. That's not coming down in the next 48 hours or 2 weeks.
Unfortunately not. And initially the FDA had thought maybe we'll go ahead and do the first 2 and then wait for the 3rd one. But based on that risk of activating the immune system too much, I think they want to wait. So we're looking at weeks to months here for those kids.
Wow. Okay, when you talk about herd immunity, and this might be a wild question, but so many of us had, whether it was Delta or Omicron, we got past it, or we know someone who did. Yeah. Since Omicron is kind of milder, is there this idea of just let's get it now, get it over with? This is a mild variant.
It's tempting. It's really tempting, right? A lot of parents are saying this about their kids too, because it's even less symptomatic in kids. But I would really caution against that strategy because there are a lot of long-term effects that are emerging. New data coming out just yesterday about a large study of cardiovascular risks, including strokes, heart failure, and heart attacks the year after you get COVID. We have data on long-term risks of dementia, problems with memory, sexual function, especially in our kids. We don't know yet how it might affect their growth. So it's, it's kind of like the chicken pox. I had chicken pox when I was young, and I wish I never did because now it lives inside my neurons forever, waiting to wake up and become shingles one day. And now we have a vaccine, so our kids don't have to have the chicken pox.
Well, you talked about personal responsibility being a big part of the next step, so we'll see how that pans out. I have mixed emotions when I think of personal responsibility being both effective and reliable, and also, can we do it?
Tricky.
Can we do it? We'll learn a lot about it. We always learn a lot when you visit with us. It's good to see you. Thanks.